Introducing the ACT matrix. This is the ACT matrix. It has two intersecting lines. The vertical line has inside at the bottom and outside at the top. So everything above the horizontal line is outside noticing, which is noticing with your five senses, whatever I see, hear, smell, taste, touch. Inside noticing is what I notice inside me. That's what I'm thinking, my thoughts, my emotions, even my bodily sensations. Right now, you are noticing what I'm saying with your eyes because you can see the presentation, and with your ears because you can hear my words. At the same time, you have inside noticing, which are your thoughts and what you're thinking about what I'm presenting. On the vertical line, we have, the horizontal line, we have away and toward. And that's pretty easy to understand. Away is what we do when we move away from things we don't like. For instance, if you don't like broccoli, you're going to avoid broccoli. And moving toward is what we do when we move towards things we like. For instance, if you like birthday cake and there's some birthday cake, you'll move toward it. So what the matrix does is it helps us to notice a difference between inside sensing and outside sensing, and whether we're moving away or we're moving toward. So this is an example. We're going to walk you through an example of how the matrix works. And we're going to start by asking in the lower right quadrant, who is important to you? And when I ask that question, you may say things like this: your partner, family, co-workers, friends, and pets. Then we ask in the lower left corner quadrant, what unwanted inside stuff shows up? So sometimes, for example, we can be angry with the people who are important to us, or they can make us afraid, and fear can show up, or frustration can show up, and anxiety can show up. And then we ask, when these unwanted yucky stuff show up, what do we do to move away? Sometimes when we're angry, we might walk away. We might close a door, or we may say sarcastic things. We could even go quiet, or we could, for example, yell at your pet if your pet did something that they shouldn't do. So from there, we ask this question: is what I'm doing workable? Does it help me to move toward who is important to me? Will walking away, closing my door, help me solve the differences I might be having with a family friend or my partner, a coworker? Does being sarcastic help resolve problems? And so if they're not workable, then we can ask this question: what could we do instead to move toward? And there are a whole bunch of things that you could try to do. For instance, you could talk to the person rather than walking away. You could show some compassion to the person you're having a dispute with, or with your dog or pet. Instead of yelling at them, you can try to train them so they don't repeat that behavior. Here's a simple example of the matrix at work. So let's assume that you've decided to make your health a priority. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to cycle for half an hour to 45 minutes after work so that you can get back into shape, because that's really important to you for so many different reasons. But on this day, you had a really hard day at work. You get home, you're tired, you're frustrated, you're angry. It's just a very bad day. And all you feel like doing is sitting on the couch. So the yucky inside feelings are the tired, the frustration, the anger. The away move to get relief from those feelings is to sit on the couch or lay on the couch and watch TV. But you start to notice that that isn't workable because it's not helping you become healthy, and that's really important to you for so many different reasons. So with the matrix, once we start to notice these things, then we can start to say, well, what sort of thing might be workable? What can I do to move toward what's important to me, like my health, instead of doing what I really want to do, which is to lie down on the couch. So I might say, maybe I'll just go on my bike for 10 minutes. I'll go ride around the block and see how I feel. Or I might just, say I'll just go for a slow, easy ride just to start to relax. But that's what the matrix does. It helps us to become aware of who or what's important and helps us make decisions, um, even to do things that are important to us, even when we really don't feel like doing that. So, this is the ACT matrix process. It starts by noticing what I did. And you also notice your yucky inner thoughts and feelings, but it's important to notice them without judgment and criticism in the moment. It doesn't help you to say, I was angry or I was mad and that's bad. It just makes it worse. So just notice it. And then notice what you do. And that's step 3. Did I do a toward move or an away move? And in step 4, ask yourself whether it was workable. So, what we're training with this matrix is psychological flexibility, and that is defined as follows. It's the ability to choose a workable move, even though our difficult inner thoughts and feelings get in the way and we would rather do something else. So, this concept of psychological flexibility is very important, and in the next videos, we'll show you how. Or better yet, we'll show you why.